So come on over, everybody, because I want you all to know what happens and why all this data is so important. So Dominic here is busy trying to get everybody registered in. So everybody signs this particular sheet of paper right here. And on this sheet of paper, it says that you're giving permission for us when you come in for us to take a photo. So cameras, still cameras, whatever, you're giving us permission. And any of your words. So when you write up comments for us, it's also giving us permission for that. And of course, we're respectful. So if you don't want a picture taken, we're not going to bring the camera right in your face. But this gives us permission, so I don't have to worry, do we have permission from everybody? And Dominic, why don't you explain, because we've got somebody new that's here. Miguel just walked in. Explain what you're going to be handing out to him and what he's going to be filling out.
This is our first time attendee form, and what we do here is, being a nonprofit, we got to keep track of everybody that attends. So what I just need is your basic information up here, adult 1, sign and date at the bottom, and then this is for our personal records. We don't give out any of your information, and what we do is we use this for grant writing purposes. If we ever are audited and we say we served 10,000 people last year, we have proof of just by this form right here. So if you want to sign this, and whenever you're finished with it, I'll get it from you.
Okay, cool.
So if you don't mind, let me grab it just for a second. He'll give you another one. So on this form, this is a one-time form only. And again, it says permission for photographs, and it also says that if you are a registered sex offender, that you cannot come to our program. Not that we wouldn't welcome everybody, but we can't protect them. And we do have children. And so for that particular reason, we've dealt with probation and parole for a long time. We've had to create that rule. So it protects us, it protects everybody. And then, of course, it's very important to get the children's birth dates because the kids grow up. So we have to track attendance for people up to age 18. Once they turn 19, then they go into a different category. So, of course, we got to keep track. And your ethnicity is very, very important to us. Last year, for people that we got everybody to fill this out, we had I think it was 58% Hispanic. We had a 12% Native American. I think it was 5% African American, and something like 22% Caucasian. So it's very important for grant purposes because they want to know who are our clientele. Now, for some of you, we also have another form. This is our grant, for grant reporting, this is our income survey. And if you are a volunteer, this isn't so important. But for a lot of our families, last year, I think the percentage was 92% of the people that filled this form out had an income of less than $25,000. And most of the people were under $14,000. Imagine trying to raise a family of 4 under $14,000. And our new poverty level, I mean, they start looking around $50,000. So this is a very important thing for us as well. And then, of course, this entry survey is very important because we're teaching about the 40 developmental assets. Some of you have been here when we played with the cups and we taught you about that. And on our placemats, every week we list ways that we could strengthen families. Why this is so important is 72% of children of prisoners are going to prison today. How many of you would want your kids to go to prison? Anybody? I've never seen a hand go up. Okay, I have 4 boys. I don't want any of my boys in prison either. But the current statistic is that 72% of our children, prisoners, are going to prison. So if we don't do something, so we're trying to teach you tonight ways of breaking that cycle of incarceration, ways to strengthen your family, ways to help these kids to become the people that God intended them to be. So that's what we're trying to accomplish, okay? And then, of course, in our packet, we have welcome information. What are we? Here are some statistics about the numbers that we have. And here is the list of those 40 assets. So if you are new tonight, you can look at this and you'll know what I'm talking about, okay, with the 40 assets. So are there any questions about any of this paperwork that we have here? There's really a reason for everything that we do. So tonight we're going to teach about a napkin. So let me teach you about a napkin. Now a napkin has 4 loose corners. See these 4 loose corners? And the idea for a napkin, the way we set it, is it goes right into the corner of the placemat. And when you fold a napkin this way, you pick up the napkin, and a napkin never should be extended all the way in your lap. The idea is that you are not going to be so sloppy that you have to open up a full napkin. So that's why the napkin is folded that way. Now, there are many different ways to fold a napkin. And you might go to a restaurant and see all kinds of fancy ways. But if you're going to fold a napkin just at a place setting, we're going to put it right there. Let me teach you where a fork goes, okay? And the way I like to teach it is how many letters are in fork? 4. How many letters are in left? 4. So kind of an easy, gimmicky way of how do you remember where a fork goes. It goes on the left. And why would we put the fork on top of the napkin? Well, because the only utensil that goes in our mouth is a fork, right? So if we did not have a placemat, and we know that placemat is clean because it came right out of the copy machine, but if it were not clean, and if we just put this on the table, would we think that this table is clean? Maybe not. Yeah, probably not. Even in a restaurant, we think they're washing the table. I like to see a napkin underneath my fork because that's going to go in my mouth. So the fork goes there. Now, a knife, how many letters are in knife? 5. How many letters are in right? 5. So where do you think the knife goes? On the right. Now, do we put the blade in or do we face the blade out? In. Why? Because if we put it out here, we might accidentally cut ourselves, right? So it's all logical. So the knife faces in towards the plate, and then the spoon, how many letters are in spoon? 5. How many letters are in right? 5. And 5, that's right. And the spoon goes on the right. And why does it go on the outside? You always work silverware from the outside in. So if there were 3 forks here, what fork would you use first? The outside. If there were 3 spoons here, what spoon would you use? The outside one. And so I will borrow this cup because I will need another cup here. This cup goes at the tip of the knife, and this is called a teaspoon. So quick, easy way, teaspoon, tea, beverage. Is this a soup spoon? No, it is not. A soup spoon is a bigger spoon. So this is a teaspoon, and what do we use a teaspoon for? To mix coffee or tea, sugar, cream, whatever. So what's the first thing that usually comes at a restaurant? What's the first thing that's served? Your beverage. That's what they always serve first. So the way to remember this then is remember the 4 letters and the 5 letters. Always work from the outside in, and then the cup goes by the teaspoon because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stir our cup. Now, does that make sense? Good. Okay. So now you know how to set a table. Okay, so we've served dinner at Wings for Life. So what we're serving family style. So we're setting up a nice healthy salad that can be taken out and it'll serve 8 people. So Michelle is our kitchen coordinator over here. And so she's getting ready. She's going to put just a little sprinkle, little cheese on there. We've got some croutons. Looks like we've got some raisins in there. And our spinach salad. So every week we try to have a very healthy salad or fruit or vegetables. And so over here, you can see our desserts are ready to go. We've been blessed to have Panera Bread give us a lot of things, and then we've got our homemade cookies that a lot of our cookie bakers bake. Now, we also serve family style, and we do a Crystal Light lemonade. And the reason we use Crystal Light lemonade is because a lot of people have problems with sugar. And so we want to make sure that we have enough that everybody can eat something, because obviously our sweets are filled with sugar. So the Crystal Light lemonade is something that they don't have to worry about calories if people are worried about calories, or if they're worried about sugar. So we serve Crystal Light, and of course we use a lemonade because lemonade doesn't stain like a bright red punch or something else might stain. So we do lemonade. Tonight we're serving grilled cheese. So Panera Bread has been so gracious, and they give us bread. So this is a good way to get the grilled cheese going and have a nice, tasty dinner. And then, of course, we've got some beans and a nice fresh fruit salad, the tossed salad tonight, and our homemade dessert and our Crystal Light. So we've got a wonderful variety of dinners. So every week, Michelle plans wonderful different meals for us, and it's always a variety of different entrees. Now, a name tag goes up high in the shoulder area, above your heart, and it never goes in an inappropriate part of the body. So we would never put it in the breast area, and we would never, ever put it down. Sometimes kids on shorts or the bottom of their shirt, they'll put a name tag, and you'd never want that to happen. Here is why. Because in America today, 1 out of 3 women are sexually assaulted and abused by 18. And guess what it is for boys? We got some precious little boys here. It's 1 out of 4. So that'll be something you could remember, okay? Because you don't want to be one of those 4. But you're smart. You're going to remember these numbers. 1 out of 4. And you know what it is for Native American girls? Anybody remember what it is for Native American girls? 72%. The same as the number of children of prisoners going to prison today, 72%. If you have a child, and I have 4 boys that their dad went to prison, that means that my boys have a 72% chance of going to prison. If you are a Native American girl in today's world, you have a 72% chance of being abused by 18. Now, is that what we want for our children? I don't think so. That's why where we put a name tag is so important, okay? Then the last thing, we always teach how to shake a hand. Sal, would you come over here and we'll practice shaking a hand? Okay, you always bring your thumbs together, nice and firm. Nothing wimpy like this. We don't ever want to give that wimpy handshake. And you can do all that fun, thumbs and all that, all that gimmicky stuff. But we want a nice, firm handshake. And then we smile at each other. Good body language. And very good body language. Make eye contact. And at a comfortable distance. We don't want to be like this, and we don't want to be like this either. So comfortable distance and smile. Come on over, everybody, quickly, because we start dinner in just a few minutes, and I want you to do a mixer. I want you to now give a proper handshake to somebody. And we just had Christmas and New Year's. And I want you to meet somebody you've never met before. Now, this was easy. Now, you're going to go find a stranger, and I want you to share something special that you did Christmas, New Year's, or all that break time, all that time in between. So go meet somebody you've never met before. Go and share what you did. You each have 60 seconds. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now you can see how quickly we can all get quiet because I raised a hand. Okay, I got to find out about New Year's. Donald had New Year's with his daughter, dinner, and a movie, and had a wonderful time. Now, who would like to share about your new friend and what they did that you want to share that was kind of fun and special? Come on, somebody, this is teaching life skills. Stella? Okay, empanadas for the first time. I bet everybody loved them. Now, see how special a tradition. And we talked before Christmas about tradition, how important it is to have tradition in your life. So what a wonderful thing to pass that down. Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, who else? One more. Let's share one more. Come on, you were all talking to somebody. Oh, thank you.
Margot and
Okay.
her husband Henry.
Yes?
They were,
Excuse me,
on
let me.
reservation.
Oh, so you got to have a different kind of Christmas on the reservation that it would be a totally different experience. Wonderful. Yeah. Well, now do you see how easy it is? You don't have to have a piece of paper in your hand. You can talk to anybody about anything, right? If we treat everybody with respect. Now I'm going to go over a couple general rules tonight, and then we're going to sit down, okay? We always treat everybody with respect here. It doesn't matter what they look like, how tall, how tiny, if they're in matching adorable outfits. Over here, look how cute that is. Everybody, if they're in a walker or wheelchair or cane or oxygen, everybody is treated with respect, right? Because Henry is just as important as these precious boys are over here. And so everybody is treated with respect, and we find a way for everybody to participate, because it's not fun if we're left out, right? It never feels good if we walk in and, oh my gosh, I'm not welcome here, or I don't feel comfortable here. So our job is to make every person that walks in here feel comfortable. So that's our job here. And anytime we gather at Wings, and anytime you go anywhere else, I want you to remember the things you're learning here tonight, because we want to make people feel welcome and know that they are valued and we care about them. Now, manners are very, very important. And that's one of the life skills that we're teaching here. And sometimes people say what they like most about Wings is they learned a whole bunch of manners that they didn't know. How many of you that set tables and learned how to set a table and didn't know how to set a table? Raise your hands. Oh, hey. Okay, I see a whole bunch of hands. And now you know how to set a table. One quick, easy lesson. So come early next time, you'll all learn how to do it. But let's go over a couple manners here. The host or hostess is always right. So you might not like what I'm teaching. You might not do this at home. But the best manner of all is whoever is the host or hostess is right. You would never go to their house and say, oh, you did that wrong. No, you don't do it that way. No, you are a guest in their home, and they are doing it their way. But what I'm going to teach you, and what we teach here at Wings, are best practices, okay? And what is typically accepted in the workplace America. Now, if you travel the world, you are going to see different cultures. You're going to see different ways of doing things. But here, that's what we're teaching, okay? So the host or hostess is always right. Then we have a fun one. Pass to the left, you'll always be right. You never want to have one dish going here, one dish going over here. But after you've sent it all the way around the first time, and Alfredo says, may I have, Sherry, that the sausage is right there. Is Sherry going to send it around the whole table to go back here? No, then you go the quickest, shortest way, okay? That's logical, right? Oh, this is a good one. Napkins are never put on your plate. At the end of a meal, you know, oftentimes you see people wad up a napkin and throw it in the middle of the plate. Always assume that napkin is the finest linen you've ever seen. Would you wad up your grandma's best linen, hand-embroidered lace napkins and throw it in the middle of a spaghetti plate? No. It would ruin it, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we never put the napkin on the plate. We just kind of put it to the left of our plate, indicating that we're done. Oh, and what do we have over here? Oh, this is Mom, and anybody, dads, anybody that's the cook in the family, the server takes the first bite. You're going to love this one. So here tonight we have all the food on the table. But if you're at home or you're a guest in somebody's house, and kids, you've always got to wait. Like if you go to your grandma's house, server takes the first bite. Grandma takes the first bite. So you sit there, politely wait until they take the first bite, okay? And we always want to remember that and be respectful of people. Ooh, look at this one. Always wait to season your food until after you taste it. You would never want to season your food. First of all, the cook has worked really hard. This is a high noon meal, by the way. The restaurant down in Old Town, so we'd pay a lot of money for this meal. So I imagine their chef would be really not happy with us if we started putting salt and pepper on it. But if you're going out to look for a job interview and you're out for a job with the potential boss and you season your food, what you're telling the boss, and they're looking for this is one of the big red flags they're looking for. Do you make up your mind before you taste something? Are you going to make up your mind? The boss tells you, do it this way. Oh, I don't like it that way. I'm going to do it my way. And that's what seasoning your food beforehand indicates to somebody. So you never want to do that. And last but not least for tonight is be mindful of others at the table. We serve family style here. Seconds will be offered. Now, our tables are set for 10 tonight. So take 1/10 of the food the first time around. Then I know we're going to probably have plenty of extra food. We've got extra tables set here. And we will make sure that everybody, if you need extra food, we will make sure everybody is eating, okay? And has, I hope, enough food. So now we are going to say grace because it's appropriate to say grace before we eat. And then we will pick a discussion leader because the reason we sit at a table is for everybody to sit and talk. So you think food is the most important thing here? It's really not. The most important thing is what's going to happen around these dinner tables and how you're going to share amongst one another and what you're going to learn from one another. So let's bow our heads and let's say grace. Loving God, we thank you for the food that is here and offered tonight. So be with us tonight as we learn and we share around this dinner table. And all of God's people say, amen.